So what if I told you that the most violent, terrifying car crash you have ever imagined can be perfectly constructed inside your head using only 22 words?
I mean, I'd say that sounds kind of impossible, honestly.
All right. But today we are dissecting an absolute masterclass in psychological manipulation.
Oh, I am so ready for this.
Welcome to the deep dive. Our mission today is to unpack a singular, extremely brief, yet incredibly potent piece of text.
Yeah, it's a tiny bit of text, but it packs a massive punch.
Exactly. So as requested by your focus out there, I am going to read the source material exactly as it is written.
Go for it. Let's hear it.
Okay, here it is. It's titled Excerpts from the Grandpa Paradox of Peace. I want to die peacefully in my sleep, just like Grandpa, and not screaming like the passengers in his car.
Wow. Yeah, it just hits you like a physical object.
It really does. I mean, it's just two short sentences, right?
Yeah.
But it contains this absolute masterclass in narrative structure and misdirection.
Oh, for sure. It's an exercise in extreme brevity, but beneath the surface, it is a perfect case study for how human cognition processes language.
Right.
And how it predicts reality and ultimately how it protects itself from horror.
Yeah. So our blueprint for today is pretty straightforward. To understand how two short sentences can completely hijack our brains, we have to look at the trap.
The trap being the first sentence, of course.
Exactly. The trap the author sets in the first sentence.
Yeah.
Then we'll look at the mechanical tripwire hidden in the second sentence.
Oh, the mechanics of that pivot are just fascinating.
They really are. And then finally, we're going to explore what that title, The Grandpa Paradox of Peace, actually reveals about perspective and dark humor.
Let's do it.
So let's jump right into the trap. We are calling this segment The Warm Blanket of Assumption.
I like that title. It's very fitting.
Thanks. So let's take a microscopic look at just the first sentence. I want to die peacefully in my sleep, just like Grandpa.
Just a completely normal, comforting thought.
Right. I mean, it's like looking at a serene pastoral painting. It acts like a warm blanket lulling you into this state of comfort and empathy.
Yeah, you really don't question it.
But why? Like, why are our brains so quick to accept this idyllic image without questioning the surrounding circumstances?
Well, what's fascinating here is how the text literally weaponizes your own cultural assumptions against you.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Weaponizes assumptions.
Yeah, because think about what happened in your own head 10 seconds ago when you heard the word grandpa.
I mean, my brain instantly built a quiet room.
Exactly. You probably pictured some soft lighting, a comfortable bed, maybe a life well lived.
Right, a very archetypal image.
Yes. That speed is a feature of a neurological mechanism called predictive processing.
Predictive processing. Okay,
Yeah.
break that down for us.
So your brain is not just a passive receiver of information, it is an active inference engine.
Okay.
It is constantly hallucinating the immediate future to save processing power. So when you hear, I want to die peacefully, your cognitive algorithm just goes to work.
It immediately preloads a highly specific set of imagery into your mental RAM, right?
Yes, perfectly said. It's exactly like that.
It's like your brain's autocomplete function.
Oh, that's a great analogy.
You know, when you type, I want to die peacefully into a search bar, the algorithm suggests, in my sleep, or surrounded by family.
Right. It definitely doesn't suggest while launching a vehicle into a ravine.
Exactly. And that automatic assumption is exactly what the author relies on.
Because that alternative would require massive computational effort to reconcile. We use cognitive heuristics.
Which are basically just mental shortcuts.
Yeah, mental shortcuts. Because if we analyzed every single word from scratch without assuming context, reading a single paragraph would just exhaust us.
Right, we'd be paralyzed.
Exactly. The author hacks that vulnerability. They know you have a mental template for the concept of a good death.
So they activate that specific neural network, and we just automatically fill in the unwritten gaps.
We do. Notice the text doesn't explicitly say Grandpa was in a bed. It doesn't say he was old. It doesn't say he had a long, fulfilling life. You supplied all of that scenery entirely by yourself.
Which is actually kind of terrifying when you think about it.
It is. We're totally complicit in our own deception.
We literally build the trap we're about to step into.
Yeah, because Grandpa represents something very specific in our collective cultural vocabulary.
He represents the patriarch, the safe harbor, the natural conclusion of the human life cycle.
And by invoking that archetype, the author completely avoids doing the heavy lifting of building the scene.
You can't have a rug pull without first firmly planting the listener on the rug.
Exactly. It's an act of vulnerability. We want to believe in the good death.
Right.
Our evolutionary psychology actually drives us to seek out narratives of safety and peaceful resolution, especially regarding mortality.
So the author is relying on our empathy and our biological conditioning to basically lower our defenses.
Yes. You cannot have a subversion of expectation if the expectation isn't cemented in biology and culture first.
Wow. Okay, so the brain is perfectly comfortable humming along, rendering this peaceful, dimly lit room. The autocomplete function has done its job perfectly.
It's feeling very safe.
Very safe. And then we hit the tripwire. Segment 2, the grammatical cliff drop.
This is where things get really fun, linguistically speaking.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's unpack this. The brutal pivot of the second sentence. And not screaming like the passengers in his car.
It's just so jarring.
It is an auditory whiplash. Let's look at the mechanics of this drop, starting with the very first word, and.
Yes, that word is crucial. In cognitive linguistics, this is what creates a garden path effect.
A garden path effect.
Yeah. By using the word and the author exploits our brain's syntactical momentum.
Okay, and usually signals a continuation of the same thought.
Exactly. And promises stability. It tells the cognitive parser to just keep moving in a straight line.
That the incoming data will match the emotional and thematic weight of the previous data.
Right.
So if I say, I went to the store and.
Your parser's ready for something like bought some milk.
Right. It isn't bracing for an impact.
Not at all. And acts as linguistic camouflage in this joke. It hides the fact that the next few words are going to completely obliterate the scene you just built.
Obliterate is the right word. The brain is predictive. So after that serene setup, your brain sees and predicts something and leaving behind a beautiful legacy.
Yeah, but instead the author delivers, not screaming.
The juxtaposition is violently abrupt.
It is. The cognitive parser basically crashes. In a fraction of a second, the sentence forces a retroactive rewriting of the entire first premise.
It's a complete sensory hijack.
Mm-hmm.
Peacefully in my sleep instantly goes from meaning a quiet passing in a comfortable bed to falling asleep at the wheel.
Right, of a moving vehicle.
But what I really want to dig into is why this makes us react the way we do.
You mean why it makes us laugh or gasp?
Yeah. Because this text forces your brain to simultaneously hold two completely opposing emotional states.
Peace and sheer terror.
Exactly. We're suddenly forced to look at the stark visceral contrast between the peaceful, oblivious silence of the grandpa.
And the terrified, chaotic screaming of the passengers.
Right. And they occupy the exact same physical space in the narrative.
In the car.
Yeah. But our reaction is to chuckle at the horror. Why do we do that?
Well, to understand that, we have to look at the evolutionary psychology behind the incongruity resolution theory of humor.
That sounds intense.
It is, but it makes sense. More specifically, it's the false alarm theory of laughter.
Okay, walk me through that.
So when your brain hits the word screaming and then realizes it's tied to passengers in his car, your amygdala spikes.
It senses a genuine threat.
Exactly. Visualizing a fatal car crash triggers an ancestral fight-or-flight response.
So we are literally experiencing a microdose of actual terror in that split second.
Yes. But a millisecond later, your frontal lobe, which is the logical, analytical part of your brain.
Right.
It parses the syntax and realizes, wait, this isn't a real threat to me. This is a semantic trick. It's just language.
Oh, wow. So the laughter is what?
Laughter, in evolutionary terms, is often a physical release valve for an aborted adrenaline spike.
Like an all-clear signal to the rest of the tribe.
Exactly. You are laughing not because the image of a car crash is joyful.
Right, that would be awful.
Yeah, you're laughing because your brain just successfully resolved a massive cognitive dissonance.
And survived a high-speed collision of concepts. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, the laughter is basically the biological exhaust from our brain shifting gears that quickly.
Wow, biological exhaust. I love that. We are laughing at the cleverness of the linguistic trap to dissipate the horrific reality inside the trap.
We use the structure of a joke to safely handle radioactive material, essentially.
And the author masterfully controls the dosage of that radiation by pacing the reveal.
Pacing is everything here. Notice the order of information in that second sentence.
Right, so it starts with, and not screaming.
Okay, so that's jarring, but it lacks context. You don't know why they are screaming yet.
Then we get, the passengers.
Now we have victims, but we still don't know the setting.
And then, in his car.
That final prepositional phrase is the kill shot.
The kill shot, yeah.
It provides the spatial realization that snaps the entire paradox into focus.
It's brilliant. It forces you to hold those two opposing states, peace and terror, in the exact same physical space.
And that actually brings us perfectly to the meta layer of this text.
You mean segment 3, decoding the grandpa paradox of peace.
Yes, because we have to unpack the title provided in the source material.
Right. This isn't just some untitled internet joke. It's framed as an excerpt.
Yeah, and framing this brutal two-liner as an excerpt implies there's a whole textbook out there analyzing this fictional grandpa's driving record.
Which is hilarious in its own right.
It elevates the joke into almost a philosophical treatise.
Right. Usually when we hear about the grandfather paradox, it's in the context of time travel.
Yeah, like going back in time and accidentally eliminating your own ancestor.
But here the paradox is a literal one regarding human experience.
Exactly. What's fascinating here is that the title highlights how peace is not an objective, universal state.
How so? Like, expand on that objective versus subjective idea?
Well, Grandpa's localized, deeply subjective experience of peace, which was falling asleep,
Right.
that directly resulted in the ultimate objective chaos and doom for everyone else around him.
Oh, wow, yeah.
It forces you to question the nature of the words we use. If someone is experiencing tranquility, but that tranquility is actively causing destruction, is it still peace?
That's a huge question.
The title suggests the author is pointing out the absurd reality that our personal experiences are often completely disconnected from the reality of the people sitting right next to us.
Okay, I see where you're going to the philosophical angle, but I'm actually going to push back on that a little bit.
Oh, really? Okay, let's hear it.
Yeah, I don't think it's this grand, noble, philosophical treatise on subjective peace. I think it's much darker than that.
Darker.
Yeah, let's look at the person actually speaking these lines. The narrator starts by saying, I want to die peacefully.
Right. Setting the trap.
But I think this is a raw indictment of the narrator's own inherited selfishness.
Inherited selfishness. Okay, unpack that for me.
Think about it. The narrator is voicing a completely relatable, universal human desire. We all want a peaceful end,
Of course.
but they immediately undercut their own desire by acknowledging the horrifying reality of how that exact desire was achieved by their own ancestor.
I see.
It's like the narrator saying, I want this comforting, peaceful thing for myself, even though I am fully aware that my comfort might come at a horrific cost to others.
Just like it did for Grandpa.
Exactly. So what does this all mean for the person speaking? It means they are self-aware, but still choosing themselves.
So you were suggesting the humor masks a confession.
Yes, a dark, brilliant form of self-awareness. It's not just an observation about subjective reality.
Yeah.
It's an admission of guilt.
Wow, that completely reframes the utility of the joke.
The narrator wants the peaceful sleep, knowing full well the collateral damage it caused.
There's a dark commentary on how we crave comfort and safety, often willfully ignoring the screaming passengers in our own lives.
Right, the people who literally pay the price for our peace.
That is a fascinating read on it. The narrator isn't a philosopher observing the paradox.
No, they're a participant in it. They're choosing the selfish peace.
And if we look at it through that lens, the extreme brevity of the text isn't just for comedic timing.
What else is it doing?
It's a reflection of how quickly we dismiss the suffering of others to maintain our own comfort.
Oh, that's good.
Think about it. If you wrote a 10-page essay about the collateral damage of our personal desires, it would be a dense, heavy read.
Our defenses would definitely reject it. We do not like being told we are selfish, but by packaging it into a misdirection, the author sneaks this profound realization right past our defenses.
Exactly. The humor is the Trojan horse for the horror of our own nature.
Humor relies on the darkest, most terrifying aspects of the human experience, but cleanly packaged in linguistic tricks.
It really demonstrates the immense power of context, too.
Yeah, because the ingredients of the narrative never actually changed.
Right, Grandpa is still asleep. But the context around him, the physical location of that sleep, altered the entire moral reality of the universe he inhabits.
And the narrator's awareness of that context alters how we judge the narrator.
It really is an incredible piece of writing.
It is. Which brings us to our big takeaway for this deep dive. These two sentences, paired with that specific title, prove that context is everything.
A single hidden detail can flip a narrative from aspirational to horrifying in a split second.
It's a powerful reminder to think about how much of our daily communication, and honestly, our daily morality, relies on unsaid assumptions.
Oh, definitely. Think about how much of our daily communication relies on the unsaid.
We walk around all day handing each other incomplete sentences and expecting the other person's autocomplete function to fill in the blanks favorably.
We do. We say things like, I just need some peace and quiet.
Right, and we assume everyone understands that means taking a nap on the couch.
Not abandoning a moving vehicle.
Exactly.
Our brains are constantly acting as an autocorrect, for reality, filtering out the chaotic variables to present us with a streamlined, manageable narrative.
And we are entirely oblivious to the flaws in that autocorrect until the punchline hits.
We are all, in a way, sitting in the passenger seat, assuming the driver is awake.
Assuming the person next to us is experiencing the exact same reality we are.
Which, as we've seen, is incredibly fragile. Just one misplaced prepositional phrase can turn a dream into a nightmare.
We took a two-sentence joke and found a whole universe of cognitive psychology, linguistic traps, and dark human nature inside it.
And the fact that our biological response to that nightmare is to laugh really underscores how desperate the brain is to maintain equilibrium.
We would rather laugh at the void than stare into it.
Perfectly said.
Which brings us to the end of our deep dive today. But I want to leave you, the listener, with a final provocative thought to mull over or explore on your own today.
Something to test out in their own lives.
Exactly. Think about the everyday, innocent statements you hear or make.
The completely normal, mundane desires you express to your family or your coworkers.
Like, I can't wait to finally get some rest.
Mm.
Or I'd love to just disappear for a while.
We say those things all the time.
We do. So if you had to add one sentence to the end of a totally normal, peaceful desire you have, what's the one hidden detail that would completely change its meaning for whoever is listening?
That is a chilling thought.
Take a look at your own mental autocomplete and ask yourself what kind of scene your brain is building without your permission.
Thanks for diving in with us today.
Until next time, keep questioning the context.